Hey everyone, sorry I couldn't make it the last couple weeks, but I did want to share with you some things that we 3D printed here. And so it's been exciting working with you guys over the last couple of weeks and seeing the designs you came up with. So what we wanted to do was take the robot vacuum and the vacuum gripper and turn them into 3D prints. And one of the things that we do when we prototype something is we usually print it at a smaller scale. So we want to see if it works, we want to see if our goals are still met, and that helps us determine whether we need to change anything before we start making it bigger. So this is the robot vacuum, and you can see it's pretty small, right? And the idea is just to see if that works and if it's what we want. And then we have the vacuum grabber, right? This is the first box where I didn't do the top part correctly, and so that allowed me to go back and change the prototype. And so that's the final prototype version with the grabber inside. And if we open the box, we can see how the grabber's inside of it. We can close it, put it back. So I'm here in front of my 3D printers, and I wanted to share with you what they look like, what they're actually printing. And so right now we're printing the robot gripper as well as the robot vacuum. And so I'll put some footage around me that you can see what it looks like when it's actually doing the printing. And then we'll walk through the process of what it looks like to actually print those models and design the models, and we'll go through that process in the next parts. So creating the vacuum, the robot vacuum. We started off with taking the original design from the picture and drawing out a bunch of squares, setting them to the correct size in millimeters. You can see I went back a couple of times back to the original image, created the legs, had to make them the right size. We wanted them to be symmetrical between the left and right leg, put in the right dimensions, and just kept drawing and moving the legs around. Then got to the wheels at the bottom to make 2 circles. And then now we actually turn into a 3D shape. And you can see I went back a couple of times, changed the size of the wheels. Then I went back to the original drawing and made the arms. Moving them around a couple of times until I got the arms in the right position that I wanted. That matched the original drawing as best as I could. Put all the dimensions in. Then copied that arm over to the other side so that it would be symmetrical. Again, moved them around to get to that size of the image. Then I went back to the arms again and made those into 3D. Back to the face. So I redid the head. Made sure it was the right size and looked proper. And then started actually doing the face part of it. So drew the mouth first, went back to the drawing, looked at the proportions of the eyes to the mouth. We use things like tangents, constraints, and parallels, just basic geometry things that we want to make sure that the eyes stay close to the mouth. Eventually, once that was done, removed the parts of the eyes, and then drew circles for the actual pupils of the eyes, and extrude them back towards the rest of the face. And that was it. That was the end of the robot. Then we went to draw the vacuum grabber. So again, same thing as the robot. Start off with basic squares. Then I hollowed out that square after I turned it into 3D. I made the cutout for the handle at the top. Put the right dimensions in. Then I went back to actually start drawing the grabber itself. Going back a couple of times to the original image to make sure I was following as close as I could. And drew out the handle for it. Kept putting the right dimensions, kept moving the handle around until I got to the right sizes that I wanted. And then I went to draw the actual grabber at the bottom. So drew one of them, made it the right dimensions and the right size, and then copied that over to the other side. Went back to the original drawing, tried to figure out how to make the hinges as small as possible. Move those around. And then now went on to create the top part of the lids, or top part of the box, since the part was done. I had to make sure that the lid fit on the box. So that's what you see here. I'm drawing the top part. Making sure that fits over it. I'm just checking the inside of it to make sure that there's enough room for the lid to fit over. And I went back to the original drawing and I saw that she had circles at the corners. And so I went and put those circles in. I copied them to all 4 corners. And I went ahead and made those 3D in the corner. And then now we go to actually what's called slicing the model. And so in here we're going to turn it into an actual 3D print. So we took the 3D objects that we created before. This is a tool that's used to represent the actual printer itself. So we lay them flat. All the parts have to be flat. We can move them around how we want them. We put in our settings for how we want the printer to make the print itself. And then once we actually start and hit play, we can see the way that the printer is actually going to go print it. So you can see it does layer by layer. I guess from the top. We'll start over here in a second. You can see what kind of that's what the printer is going to do. It's going to layer that layer by layer. So now we've actually sliced the model and we're going to go ahead and print it, and let's see what that looks like.